The name of this song is The Seven Drunken Nights, but we're only allowed to sing 5 of them, so here goes. Oh, as I went home on Monday night, as drunk could be, I saw a horse outside the door, where my old horse should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me, who owns that horse outside the door, where my old horse should be? Ah, you're drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see, that's a lovely sow that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but a saddle on a sow sure I never saw before. And as I went home on Tuesday night, as drunk could be, I saw a coat behind the door, where my old coat should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me, who owns that coat behind the door, where my old coat should be? Ah, you're drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see, that's a woolen blanket that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but buttons in a blanket sure I never saw before. And as I went home on Wednesday night, as drunk could be, I saw a pipe upon the chair, where my old pipe should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me, who owns that pipe upon the chair, where my old pipe should be? Ah, you're drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see, that's a lovely tin whistle that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but tobacco in a tin whistle sure I never saw before. And as I went home on Thursday night, as drunk could be, I saw 2 boots beneath the bed, where my old boots should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me, who owns them boots beneath the bed, where my old boots should be? Ah, you're drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see, they're 2 lovely geranium pots me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but laces in geranium pots I never saw before. And as I went home on Friday night, as drunk could be, I saw a head upon the bed, where my old head should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me, who owns that head upon the bed, where my old head should be? Ah, you're drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see, that's a baby boy that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but a baby boy with his whiskers on sure I never saw before.
And as I rode out through Galway town to seek for recreation on the 17th of August, me mind being elevated, there were multitudes assembled with their tickets at the station, and me eyes began to dazzle, and they going to see the races. Timmy whack, fall the do, fall the dinnery idle. There were passengers from Limerick and passengers from Neenah, passengers from Dublin and sportsmen from Tipperary. There were passengers from Kerry and all quarters of the nation, and our member Mr. Hawley fought to join the Galway Blazers. Timmy whack, fall the do, fall the dinnery idle. There were multitudes from Arran and members from New Quay Shore, the boys of Connemara and the Clare unmarried maidens, People from Cork City who were loyal, true and faithful, they brought home the Fenian prisoners from dying in foreign nations. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dillery idle day. And it's there you'll see confectioners with sugar sticks and dainties, the lozenges and oranges, the lemonade and raisins, gingerbread and spices to accommodate the ladies, and the big crew bean for thrubbins to be sucking while you're able. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dillery idle day. And it's there you'll see the gamblers, the thimbles and the garters, and the sporting wheel of fortune with the 4 and 20 quarters. There was others without scruple pelting what was at poor Maggie, and our daddy well contented to be gawking at his daughter. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dillery idle day. And it's there you'll see the pipers and the fiddlers competing, the nimble-footed dancers and the tripping on the daisies. There was others shouting cigars and lights and bills for all the races, with the colours of the jockey and the price and horses' ages. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dillery idle day. And it's there you'll see the jockeys, and they mounted on so stately, the pink, the blue, the orange and green, the emblem of our nation. When the bell was rung for starting, all the horses seemed impatient. I thought they never stood on ground, their speed was so amazing. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dillery idle day. There was 500,000 people there of all denominations, the Catholic, the Protestant, the Jew and Presbyterian. There was yet no animosity, no matter what persuasion, but wild hospitality inducing Mr. Paisley. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dillery idle day. And Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dillery idle day.
When first I came to London in the year of 39, the city looked so wonderful and the girls were so divine. But the coppers got suspicious and they soon gave me the knock. I was charged with being the owner of an old alarm clock. Oh, next morning down by Marlborough Street I caused no little stir. The IRA were busy and the telephones did bar. Said the judge, I'm going to charge you with the possession of this machine, and I'm also going to charge you with the wearing of the green. Now says I to him, your honour, if you'll give me half a chance, I'll show you how me small machine can make the peelers dance. It ticks away politely till you get an awful shock, and it takes away the jelling and night of me old alarm clock. Said the judge, now listen here, my man, and I'll tell you of our plan. For you and all your countrymen, I do not give a damn. The only time you'll take is mine, 10 years in Dartmoor dock, and you can count it by the ticking of your old alarm clock. Now this lonely Dartmoor city would put many in the jigs. The cell, it isn't pretty, and it isn't very big. Should I long ago have left the place if I had only got me couple of sticks, a jelly gun out of me old alarm clock.
Hush-a-bogle, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon, for the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, for the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, where the gathering is to be. At the old spot by the river, quite well known to you and me. One more word for signal token, whistle out the marching tune, with your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, with your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. Out from many a mud-walled cabin, eyes were watching through the night. Many a man the heart was beating for the blessed morning light. Murmurs rang along the valley to the banshee's lonely croon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. By the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. All along that singing river, that black mass of men was seen. High above their shining weapons flew their own beloved green. Death to every foe and traitor, whistle out the marching tune, and hurrah, me boys, for freedom. 'Tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon, and hurrah, me boys, for freedom. 'Tis the rising of the moon.
When I was 18 years of age, into the army I did engage. I left me home with a good intent, for to join the 42nd Regiment. While I was posted on guard one day, some soldiers' children came out to play. From the officers' quarters my captain came, and he ordered me for to take their names. I took one name instead of 3. On neglect of duty they then charged me. I was confined to barracks with loss of pay for doing my duty the opposite way. A loaded rifle I did prepare for to shoot me captain on the barrack square. Well, it was my captain I meant to kill, but I shot me colonel against me will. At Liverpool Assizes me trial I stood, and I held me courage as best I could. Then the old judge said, "Now McCafferty, go prepare your soul for eternity." I had no father to take me part, no loving mother to break her heart. I had one friend and a girl was she, who'd lay down her life for McCafferty. So come all you officers, take advice from me, and go treat your men with some decency. For it's only lies and a tyranny that have made a martyr of McCafferty. 'Twas
oh my ain't true love. I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover, high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how to gain my love's company. Though the neck be as dark as dungeon, not a star can be seen above, I will be guided without a stumble into the arms, oh my ain't true love. I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover, oh high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how to gain my love's company. He stepped up to her bedroom window, kneeling gently upon a stain. He whispers through her bedroom window, my darling dear, do you lie alone? I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover, oh high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how to gain my love's company. She raised her head from her down soft pillow, we her arms around her breasts, says, why is that at my bedroom window, disturbing me at my long night's rest? I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover, oh high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how to gain my love's company. Says I, my love, it's thy true lover. Open the door and let me in, for I am come on a long night's journey, more than near drenched to the skin. I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover, oh high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how to gain my love's company. She opened the door with the greatest pleasure. She opened the door and she let him in. They both shook hands and embraced each other until the morning they lay as one. I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover, oh high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how to gain my love's company. Says I, my love, I must go and leave you to climb the hills, they are far above. But I will climb with the greatest pleasure, since I've been in the arms of my love. I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover, oh high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how to gain my love's company.
was an owl woman and she lived in the wood down by the riverside, yeah. She had a baby 3 months old, a Weila Waile. She had a baby 3 months old down by the riverside, yeah. She had a penknife long and sharp, a Weila Waile. She had a penknife long and sharp down by the riverside, yeah. She stuck the penknife in the baby's heart, a Weila Waile. She stuck the penknife in the baby's heart down by the riverside, yeah. There was 3 loud knocks coming knocking on the door, a Weila Waile. 3 loud knocks coming knocking on the door down by the riverside, yeah. There was 2 policemen and a man, a Weila Waile. 2 policemen and a man down by the riverside, yeah. They took her away and they put her into jail, a Weila Waile. They took her away and they put her into jail down by the riverside, yeah. They put the rope around her neck, a Weila Waile. They put the rope around her neck down by the riverside, yeah. They pulled the rope and she got hung, a Weila Waile. They pulled the rope and she got hung down by the riverside, yeah. Now that was the end of the woman in the wood, a Weila Waile. That was the end of the baby too, down by the riverside, yeah.
I'm a free-born man of the travelling people, got no fixed abode, with nomads I am numbered. Country lanes and byways were always my ways. I've never fancied being lumbered. Well, we knew the woods and the resting places, and the small birds sang when winter time was over. Then we'd pack our load and be on the road. They were good old times for the rover. In the open ground you could stop and linger for a week or two, for time was not your master. Then away you jog with your horse and dog, nice and easy, no need to go faster. And sometimes we'd meet up with other people, hear the news or else swap family in for formation. At the country fairs we'd be meeting there, all the people of the travelling nation. I've made willow creels and the heather besoms, and I've even done some begging and some hawking, and I've lain there spent wrapped up in my tent, and I've listened to the old folks talking. All you freeborn men of the travelling people, every tinker, rolling stone and gypsy rover, winds of change are blowing, old ways are going, your travelling days will soon be over. I'm a freeborn man of the travelling people, got no fixed abode, with nomads I am numbered. Country lanes and byways were always my ways. I've never fancied being lumbered.
I am a young fellow that's sazy and bold, in Castletown, Connors I'm very well known. In Newcastle West I spent many an oat with Kitty and Judy and Mary. Me parents rebuked me for being such a rake and for spending me time in such frolicsome ways. I ne'er could forget the good nature of Jane, yet a fog on my Jude Marathache. My parents had reared me to shake and to mow, to plough and to harrow, to reap and to sow. Me heart being too airy to drop it too low, I set out on a high speculation. On paper and parchment they taught me to write, and in Euclid and grammar they opened my eyes. And in multiplication, in truth I was bright, yet a fog on my Jude Marathache. If you chance for to go to the town of Rathkeil, the girls all around me do flock on the square. Now some offer me apples and others sweet cake, and they treats me unknowns to their parents. There's one from Askeaton and one from the Pike, and another from Ard, and my heart has beguiled. Though being from the mountains, her stockings are white, and I'd love to be tightening her garters. Now to quarrel for riches I ne'er was inclined, for the greatest of misers they must leave all behind. But I'll purchase a cow that'll never run dry, and I'll milk her be twisting or hauding. John Damer of Shronel had plenty of gold, and Lord Devonshire's treasures are 20 times more. But should they're laid on their backs amidst nettles and stones, yet a fog 'em with Jude Marathache. The old cow could be milked without clover or grass. She'd be pampered on barley, sweet corn and the hops. She'd be warm, she'd be stout, she'd be free in the paps, and she'd milk without spancel or halter. And the man that would drink it, he'd cock his coppeen, and if anyone laughs, we'll have wigs on the green. And the feeble old hag, she'd get supple and free at a fog on with Jude Marathache. Now there's some say I'm foolish, there's some say I'm wise, though being fond of the women I think is no crime. Sure, the son of King David, he had 10,000 wives, and his wisdom was highly regarded. I'll till a good garden and work at me ease, and each woman and child could partake of the same. If there'd be war in the cabin, themselves they could blame, yet a fog on with Jude Marathache. But now for the future, I think I'll get wise, and I'll marry all those women who acted so kind. Aye, I'd marry them all on the morrow by and by, if the clergy'd agree to the bargain. And then when I'd be old and me soul be at rest, all those children and wives, they could keen at me wake. Aye, they'd all gather round and they'd offer up prayers to the Lord for the soul of their father.
Thunder and lightning is no lark when Dublin city is in the dark. So if you've any money, go up to the park and view the Zoological Gardens. We went up there to see the zoo. We saw the lion and the kangaroo. There was he-males and she-males of every hue up in the Zoological Gardens. We went out there be Castle Knock. She to me, sure we'll court on the lock. Then I knew she was one of the rare old stock from outside the Zoological Gardens. We went up there on our honeymoon. She to me, if you don't come soon, I'll have to get in with the hairy baboon up in the Zoological Gardens. She to me, it's 7 o'clock and time for me to be changing me frock. For I'd love to see the old cockatoo up in the Zoological Gardens. She to me, me lovely Jack, sure I'd love a ride on the elephant's back. If you don't get over that, I'll give you such a crack up in the Zoological Gardens. Oh, thunder and lightning is no lark when Dublin city is in the dark. So if you've any money, go up to the park and view the Zoological Gardens.
Apprentice to trade I was bound, and many an hour sweet happiness have I spent in that neat little town. A sad misfortune came over me, which caused me to stray from the land, far away from me friends and relations, be betrayed by the black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair, it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. I took a stroll down Broadway, meaning not long for to stay, when who should I meet but this pretty fair maid come a-traipsing along the highway. She was both fair and handsome, her neck it was just like a swan, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. I took a stroll with this pretty fair maid, and a gentleman passing us by. Well, I knew she meant the doing of him by the look in her roguish black eye. A gold watch she took from his pocket and placed it right into my hand. And the very first thing that I said was, "Bad cess to the black velvet band." Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Before the judge and the jury, next morning I had to appear. The judge, he says to me, "Young man, your case it is proven clear. We'll give you 7 years penal servitude to be spent far away from the land, far away from your friends and relations, betrayed by the black velvet band." Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. So come all you jolly young fellows, a warning take by me. When you are out on the town, me lads, beware of the pretty colleens. They'll feed you with strong drink, me lads, till you are unable to stand. And the very first thing that you'll know is you've landed in Van Diemen's land. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, her neck it was just like a swan, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. In 1841, me corduroy breeches I put on. Me corduroy breeches I put on to work upon the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway, poor Paddy works on the railway. In 1842 from Hartlepool I moved to Crewe, and I found myself a job to do, working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1843 I broke my shovel across my knee, and I went to work for the company on the Leeds and Selby Railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1844, I landed on the Liverpool shore. Me belly was empty, me hands were raw, with working on the railway, I'm weary of the railway, poor Paddy works on the railway. In 1845, when Daniel O'Connell, he was alive, and working on the railway, I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches, I was working on the railway. In 1846, I changed my trade from carrying bricks, to working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches, I was working on the railway. In 1847, poor Paddy was thinking of going to heaven. Poor Paddy was thinking of going to heaven to work upon the railway, I'm weary of the railway, poor Paddy works on the railway. I was wearing corduroy bridges, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches, I was working on the railway.